We have just wrapped up watching Luke Cage Season 1, and we have a top 8 list for you guys later today. This is the Sacred Rewatch. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Rewatch, brought to you by Effortless Expeditions, a Disney-centered travel agency here to help you plan your next Disney vacation. Contact us today for a free, no obligation quote. Whoa. Wherever the destination is, they make the experience truly effortless. Also, make sure to subscribe to the channel if you like this content or give a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you are listening to. And, about a month ago now, we did a little giveaway. It was minor. It was a book. But guys, I have much greater aspirations for this channel. I really anticipate that this is going to become a big place for Marvel fans to come catch up on content. So hopefully next week I will have stuff finalized, but I have a very exciting giveaway coming up. But today I am joined by our resident philosopher. Once again, just me and him, Brody.
Hello, everyone. How you doing?
How's your week going, Brody?
It's going pretty good. Lots of Marvel going on.
You're holding down the channel right now, to be honest. I don't know what would happen if you weren't right now.
Hey, someone's got to do it.
Well, this is a great plug. Make sure you go check out the E-Ticket Talk. Brody is putting together some fantastic stuff out there. Most of it actually hasn't released up to this point, but it will be coming out very, very shortly. So yeah, we just watched Luke Cage. I actually did a terrible job last week. I was so down in the dumps about my brain was just fried. I completely forgot to mention that we were watching Luke Cage next week. But yeah, we just watched Luke Cage. And I promise I will tell you guys what we're watching next week. So, Brody, even if I do forget, do not let me forget that.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Okay. How do we want to go about this?
So let me just start by saying something. I've hopped on the bandwagon. I've hopped on this, where's Blade? We're waiting 6 years for Blade, only to find out that he's already in the MCU. That was my first reaction.
I was like upset with Marvel, and then I was upset with myself. I was like,
yeah,
how did I not know this?
I've like, nobody's talked about this. I was like, he's already in the MCU. Like, what's going on?
I've done a lot of like reading on this whole Blade drama, and not once has anybody ever mentioned that he is already in the MCU, especially when that whole debacle came out that all the Defender shows are now canon, and nobody brought this up.
Nobody. And not to mention, this whole week they've been talking about the idea of Blade again, because obviously we're going into Doomsday. Kevin Feige this whole week has just been saying stuff, and people are trying to piece together what he's saying. But like, not once have I seen this brought up, ever.
So, but before we talk about Luke Cage, there's two things. It's either one, I'm actively rooting against Mahershala Ali getting cast as Blade.
Right.
Or two, they go the Fantastic Four route, an alternate universe, which I would be okay with.
Yeah, I mean, I could totally see that for Blade, depending on it. But like, also, I don't see the MCU doing that. I don't see them doing an alternate universe right now and keeping it an alternate universe for long. You know what I mean? I don't think they're like DC, where they're going to do a solo project like The Joker or something. It would be cool, but like, they own the rights to everything. There's nothing stopping them. You know what I mean? It's not like the Fox movies or something where they have to be separate.
Yeah, I'm just kind of incredibly disappointed with myself, to be honest with you.
Well, now it's like he's great in this show too.
I know.
So like, that's why I'm like, does he need a second character in this? You know what I mean? Like, personally, he would be a great Blade, I think. You know what I mean?
think so too.
And that would be a really cool character to see interact with people like Moon Knight, with all of these like other characters that we have now. But it's like, by the time they get this done, you know what I mean? He was great in Jurassic World, though, this new movie. So that's why going into this, he's in that and he's great. So that's why going into this, I was like excited when I saw him. But this is a whole debacle that I can't believe nobody's brought up. Nobody's said anything. No references at all to this. They're just like, I guess no one's seen Luke Cage. I thought at least some people.
To me, like, I'm shocked even somebody like Brendan, who's like deeply rooted in like news and stuff. He's never brought this up once. He might not even know either.
Well, who was it that they said, maybe it was Wyatt, when he was like, "Oh, who's the villain in this show?" And then we were like, "Don't say it because we want to be surprised."
Yeah.
I think it was Wyatt that said that,
Yeah, he did say
and
that.
it worked because we are surprised. We are thrown for a loop.
I was very thrown off. I thought it was going to be some big actor I had never seen in an MCU project. Never did I once think that it was going to be Mahershala Ali.
Yeah, well, and I don't even think of him as being like an actor that was like doing stuff around then. Like I haven't like seen a lot of his stuff until recently,
Well, this seems
so
like
he
a
wasn't in
very
my
small
list.
project for him to be involved in
Right?
2014, 2013, something like that.
Because now when you hear his name, you know what I mean he's pretty
Oh,
up there.
he's A-list actor.
Yeah. I don't know. It threw me for a loop, dude. I was stuck on that. Like I was thinking that for like the whole show. Like I was like, how does this make sense? How has nobody talked about it? What's going on?
I know that. To be honest, the first episode, that's all I could think about.
It was just, but he's great in it, dude. Like I'm not like, are we gonna start talking? Should we start talking about the show and stuff?
Yeah, let me get the worst part out of the way. I'm just gonna tell you my score straight up.
Oh, okay.
I gave it a 4.
You said low. I didn't know it was gonna be single digit low.
I've got reasoning. I've got reasoning.
Okay.
What did you give
Okay.
it?
I gave it a 16.
I couldn't give it a 16.
But like, were you rating it like as a Marvel show or just as a show in general, or
That's a Marvel show.
like in relation to other Marvel stuff?
I, every, I've been rating everything to everything we've seen up to this point.
Okay. All right.
Let's get into it. Um, like we just said, the number one note, or the first note, I should say, in episode 1, said, "How can Mahershala Ali be in the show?"
It's
I,
groundbreaking, dude.
we just talked about it. Still not really sure. Um, some other notes that I talked about. I wish Wyatt was on here. They were kind of trash talking the Knicks. I love that part. When they were in the barbershop. I thought a lot of their banter in the barbershop with Pop and Luke Cage and the very first episode. I'm trying to think about who else was in there. Um, was Chico in there for episode 1?
There was the one kid. I'm trying to remember who
Well,
was
there
in
was
it
the
too.
younger kid, but was Chico there was 3 barbers in there. Or not 3 barbers,
Yeah.
3 employees, I should say.
I mean, it would make sense for him to have been in there, story wise.
Yeah. Um,
But it was a great conversation though. Like having the list on the wall of like who's allowed, or like what was it? It was like they get like free haircuts and stuff.
mhm.
And it was like, who else was on that list? It wasn't Al Pacino, or was it Sylvester Stallone? I think it was Rocky.
Yes.
They were saying
That
like
one.
the Rocky movies like won him over in that league. But it's just a
Yeah.
great conversation to have like kick off the show because it's just unrelated to anything. It's just funny.
Well, it's a great way to learn about different characters that they introduced.
Yeah, and then that kid like all gets in Luke Cage's face,
Hmm.
and then he's like, I wish what do you say? Like I wish the team wasn't losing or something.
Yeah.
He like switched it because he didn't want to fight him. I thought that was
Mhm.
great.
Um,
Yeah, dude, the music from the start. That first scene with the music. And I loved the intro music, to be honest. Like out of all the Defender shows that we've been watching, like Daredevil's cool, it's moody, you know what I mean? But like the music on the intro for this one, I thought was sick, dude.
see, I feel much differently about the music. Much
Really?
different. I did not like the opening credits music at all.
Wow.
Like Daredevil, even Jessica Jones, which I didn't like at first, really started to grow on me. Um,
Yeah.
there was so I gave music a 0.5 out of 5, and I think the only credit I really gave it on music was at Cottonmouth's Club. Trying to
Mm.
remember the specific
That
name of the
was
club.
live music. That was
Jadena.
Raphael Sadiq performs
Well,
live in the club.
well, I think they brought in multiple guys because they also had. I wish I was saying his name correctly. Jadena. You ever heard the song "Classic Man"?
I don't know if I have.
I'm a classic man. I'll try to play this
Oh yeah,
music.
yeah. Hold on. I think I have. Even you just saying that little bit, like it just clicked for me.
Here. Oh yeah, we can't say that. But that's not. Here. This song. So
Yeah.
he's not singing that song. He's got a different song. But I
Okay.
thought that was cool that he was in there. And that was
Well,
very
guess
like
what?
2014 coded when I saw him because he was killing
True.
it in like the early 2010s.
True. Well, like even the whole dancing, I don't know why it was like reminding me of like in Ironheart when they had like the live performer, and I was like, oh, like we just had a show that had like a similar like vibe where they're
Yeah.
going to a party and it's like playing like live music. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But another interesting note about the music is each episode title is the name of a song from a band called Gangstar.
Really?
So each of the titles of these episodes, I looked them up, and they're all supposedly named after songs from this artist.
Where did you hear
And
about
I just was like, some of these titles just kind of seem like they don't fit here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And this the music that's in the episode, so I was looking up like music for the show, like what was in it,
Mm-hmm.
and trying to figure out who was playing at like the live music scenes and stuff. But yeah, so I guess every episode title, I checked some of them, and they all popped up as songs,
Huh.
and I thought that was a pretty cool thing. And I'm assuming that it's like a band from Harlem, a musical artist from Harlem.
It would only fit. Yeah.
I would assume so. And on the album cover, because I was checking it, it looks so much like that room at the end of episode 1. So like, look at this. Look at this. If you're able to see, you see how it's like a red room with the
Oh.
picture on the wall?
Yeah.
Like it's like exactly that room
in
that's
his
at the end when he's punching the
Cottonmouth's
dude.
office.
Yes, when he's punching the dude. So like I was like checking the music, and then I saw that album cover, and I was like, dude, that looks exactly like The Office with the picture on the wall.
All right. I give the director a little bit more credit. That is pretty cool.
So I thought that was cool. Well,
That is
because
cool.
that like with these shows, I'm like expecting us to get like low ratings here and there. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Like it feels like how Jessica Jones was. Like Jessica Jones, we're probably not the target audience. This show, we're probably not the target audience. But that's kind of the point of these shows. You know what I mean? They were able to get more specific and give more runtime to things that like the MCU as a whole can't really get into mainstream as often. I guess they don't. You know what I mean? So like, this is one of those where it's like, okay, like this isn't gonna be like my main dude, my main MCU dude, but it's someone's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I could see how people could love this, and it's the same as Jessica Jones, where the powers are an overwhelming thing.
No.
Like you're just watching a show, and the dude happens to be pretty much invincible. You know what I mean? Like it's just one of those. So I see the appeal to a general audience and stuff.
Absolutely. Some other notes I took in episode 1, and even the show as a whole, like out of all the Defenders show, I felt like this did the best job of tying in both like the totality of MC references and Defenders references.
Completely agree.
Like this has done the best job by far. Especially like I don't want to jump ahead too much, but episode 6 we get the beginning of the show. It's Trish Talks Radio. I thought that was cool.
And in episode 1 they had is it Justin Hammer or Austin Hammer? Justin
Hammer, yeah.
Justin
So
Hammer
was
get
that
a
a
name
reference
drop.
to Justin Hammer? Because you just said Hammer.
Well, he said it was like Justin Hammer Tech or something.
Did he say Justin Hammer? I just heard it was Hammer.
Maybe
Tech.
he just said Hammer. But
I
I mean,
thought that was a
obviously,
cool
at this
reference, though.
time, it would have to be a reference to that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I mean,
man.
it totally seems like something he would create too. You know.
Completely.
Yeah. Is it the Judas gun or bullet?
I think it's a bullet.
Bullet.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like that first episode, like the final scene where he's just punching the dude in the chair is like insane, and I thought that was gonna be the end of the episode. I feel like that would have been probably a more fitting end to the episode.
Uh-huh.
I feel like that was a more natural ending of like the villain's actually scary. Keep watching to see what's gonna happen, but then it cuts back to him. You know what I mean? Getting into that fight, but I thought that slow motion punch was brutal, dude. When the dude punches Luke Cage, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because the show has a lot of that. It has a lot of the stuff where it's like, okay, basic TV show, you're gonna cut to the other frame. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like there's that dude that he throws off and lands on the car, and I was like, oh, you know what I mean? They're gonna cut, but it's like all one shot. You like follow off the side and see the dude land on the car.
Yeah.
Like there is some shots in this like that, which are like kind of make you like flinch. Like they're like, oh my gosh, like I didn't think they were gonna do that. Like, dude, just the way his hand hits when he's punching him,
Yeah.
and it's just like you just see it. It's just done so well.
Well, and some like the when Cottonmouth threw him off the building,
Mm-hmm.
that one caught me off guard because the way the camera was, it was like so zoomed in close from the two of their faces, and then all of a sudden you see him let go, and you just see him like go all the way to the car, and it's like,
Yeah, no, dude,
oh,
it was insane. And I think this show just has a lot of that, where it's like Daredevil has some of that, but this is like very specific, like planned shots.
uh-huh.
You know what I mean? Which I feel like you don't see it throughout the whole show, but there are some key moments where you're like, okay, this was a cool concept.
Uh-huh.
To where it doesn't take that much CGI. It's on a TV budget, but it does make an impact that you remember.
Yeah. I do have to say, especially compared this to Jessica Jones, I feel like some of the super strength stuff did kind of look off to me.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah.
there was just like a lot of shots on like the floor, and like some of them impact, some of them don't.
Like, and episode 3, when he rips off the car door, that one kind of stuck out to me. Like, it seemed like that thing was made of foam, you know?
Yeah, it didn't really seem like it was a real problem
Yeah.
or like really attached.
Some other things I wrote down, just kind of like things that I've noticed, you know, as two white guys, this is kind of a crazy show for us to talk about, you know?
Right.
But like, I think this is the first time I've ever heard the use of the N word in the show. Like, that was kind of, I don't know, it kind of stood out to me. Like, I, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if Marvel would do that today.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
You know what I
Like,
mean?
I don't think they could do that on a Disney Plus show.
Yeah, I think this is a very well, I guess this was going to Netflix too. This wasn't on
Uh-huh.
TV either, huh?
No.
So I think it was just them using their streaming abilities to be able
Yeah,
to do
and I
stuff
mean
like that.
it is definitely a more mature show because like I also wrote down in episode 1. I took a ton of notes in episode 1 because I felt like there was just a ton of stuff to pick up on.
Yeah.
Especially like comparing it to other stuff we watched. Like there's just a lot more nudity in this, mostly because there was the shots in the strip club, which that kind of threw me off.
Yeah.
Um, what else? What else? Oh, I also talking about other references to Defenders. Like I like that the councilwoman was talking about Fisk. Claire had just a massive role in the show, which I was not expecting. I kind of thought at
True.
the end of Jessica Jones, no, Daredevil
Yeah.
season 2, when she's like, "I'm quitting my job."
Oh,
And
true.
I thought, oh, that's her. That's them writing her off in the story, you know.
Yeah. Well,
So I thought that was cool.
yeah, I kind of knew she was going to be in it just because I like looked through Rosario Dawson's like past work when she was getting like all the Ahsoka stuff going on.
Uh-huh.
So I kind of knew she was going to be in like most of the stuff. But I feel like they just went really natural with it. She's not like, oh, remember when we met in Jessica Jones season 1?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they just play it really well. Where like you could just be casually watching and this could just be someone from a story that you didn't see.
Well, and
Which
she
I
had
feel
the-
like I was just gonna say I feel like we need more of that. You know what I
100%.
mean?
100%.
Like we should just have like a one-off episode, like the Daredevil Born Again episode or something, where he bumps into Spider-Man,
Uh-huh.
and then the next movie, they don't need to reference how they know each other. You know what I mean? Like I feel like we got some of that later on when we get to Infinity War and stuff too, where they're
Uh-huh.
like, oh, you know him, okay. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
they just all meet each other in unique ways, and I feel like that's how we kind of need to do it now because there's so many characters
Yeah, it's just overwhelming.
that people just need to like casually meet more. Like I just loved how Daredevil was in like a few She-Hulk episodes,
Uh-huh.
and like you just it just ran really well, like almost like a comic. Like this is the comic where they're doing the crossover,
Yeah.
and I feel like more of that stuff, just play it casual because
And
they're just in the same world.
to me, the perfect example of that was, I think this was late, way, way, way later on. I guess it was episode 5. Uh, Claire is talking about how she's like, "Oh, I've helped a blind man, you know, and he can't even see, but he's like he's a superpowered individual." But she was
Yeah.
so like nonchalant about that quote. Like if you had never seen Daredevil before, that line would have completely slipped over your top of your head.
Right. Well, because it honestly felt like when we were getting like superhero nods before there were that many superheroes. Like it felt
Uh-huh.
like back in like the Raimi movies when they're like, "Oh, can we call him Doctor Strange?" Oh no, we already have one of those. Like you're not gonna see that guy, but it
Yeah.
felt like when they do like those little name drops for characters that you're never gonna see,
Well, I mean,
like that
we
that was the
already
vibe we
have
got.
even strange reference in Winter Soldier, right?
True, yeah.
But
I think it was
I
Winter
think that's a
Soldier.
perfect example of the early 2010s having all these like little like breadcrumbs that they're dropping. Age of
Yeah.
Ultron, they talk about Wakanda, like Wakanda,
Right.
like just cool stuff that they know that they're gonna get to, and that
Yeah.
they actually pull through with it.
Well, and
Now,
a lot of it, I don't know if they were gonna. I don't know if they knew that they were gonna get to it. Because
well,
all it takes is one person being fascinated in the topic or character, and that launches it to like well renowned, like people know this character.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like it's a very fine line from the comics being weird and then being able to be adapted into something that like people love.
yeah.
You know what I mean? All it takes is one person.
Even the Stephen Strange comment, you could totally see like I don't think they really meant to say that because it kind of gets that idea kind of gets canned at the beginning of Doctor Strange, which we'll be watching very soon. But you realize
Yeah.
he's not actually like a high suspect individual. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. Mute this real quick. Damn, it's loud. Okay.
But yeah, I think again, like you're saying, I don't think it was all intentional. But I think once they get to a point where they're like, hey, make this story interesting, Doctor Strange, you know what I mean? Then just like, oh, we can retcon that. We can, you know what I mean? People can ignore that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And we can
Well,
just move
I
forward.
I feel like too compared like where we are right now in the Defenders series is
Hmm.
like we've seen from the beginning of season 1 of Daredevil, they're like playing around with the idea that this might be in the MCU, and every season we've watched, they've gotten more and more confidence, and I think more and more of the green light that this is going to be the MCU.
Exactly. Because I think they were just finding like a good audience. You know what I mean? Where it wouldn't hurt the MCU to bring these people in.
Yeah. What other things did I write? Episode 2. I thought some of the pop stuff was kind of cringe-worthy. I mean, you definitely see later on in the show, there was a reason for that, especially like
Yeah.
looking towards the funeral scene. But like the reason he's called Pop, like I thought that was just kind of cringy, especially that he was calling um, um, Cottonmouth. What is his actual name? I totally forgot.
Um,
But he was referenced. They were called Thing One and Thing Two. Like I thought that was just kind of stupid.
yeah, and it's tough for me to like draw a line with that stuff because I'll never know if it's from the comics. Yeah, I mean, maybe this is the most accurate thing, and it's like people know him from the comics. So usually when I hear stuff like that, I'm like, maybe it was just a nod to the comics, or it
Uh-huh.
wasn't. It was just a weird writing decision. It's really tough, but
Yeah.
like I just kind of assumed it was from the comics. And Cottonmouth's real name is
Yes.
Cornell
Uh,
Stokes.
and I think with like what you're talking about, it pulls me out of it because the show and the Defender series as a whole are so self-serious, and then you have
Yeah,
something like that where like maybe it is a comic book tie-in, and it just like takes you out of like this
it
the
doesn't
hyper
click.
realistic. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel
Um,
like that's how like they have to be with their references and stuff too. Like
yeah.
if we were getting like Doctor Strange references in here, it wouldn't make any sense. There's nothing pertaining to magic, but the Iron Man references make sense because for the most part that's just a dude. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or Hammer's just a dude. So like it just makes sense the scale. Like so far the only like real alien stuff is like all these shows are referencing the Battle of New York and stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
But I did kind of feel that with this show. Like I was like, okay, we have another show that's going to be referencing the Battle of New York. This is kind of on the we're getting towards the later end of the Defenders stuff,
uh-huh.
and it is kind of getting caught in the cycle of like, okay, we're being a little too like self-serious. You know what I mean? Like it's not that it was to the point of feeling like a parody,
Yeah.
but just as a viewer watching all of them and or like with each other, it just
Uh-huh.
feels like we're kind of getting a lot of like here's your routine references, your routine story beats. Even though each of the shows are have their differences.
Yeah. I was also, it's kind of the last part I'll say about the beginning of the show, and then I'll just kind of leave it as an open floor. But I was just very surprised that they killed Pop so quickly. Like
Yeah,
that really
I thought he
took me
was
off
gonna
guard.
be at least through half of the season.
100%.
You know what I mean? And then or like even last episode, I was like, it just makes sense to have barbershop be your first scene, barbershop your last scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then having like someone there threatening him. I thought
Yeah.
that made sense because then it sets up like, oh, now that he's dead, what's he gonna do in season two?
Uh-huh.
But they really kind of just jumped the gun with that one right from the start.
Absolutely. Um, what else? What else? What else?
I was gonna say, how do you feel about I think it was when Cornell goes up on the roof, Conmouth, and he's like he just finds out that information and he's like, I'm just gonna go on this rooftop with a rocket launcher.
Dude, that I literally wrote that down. I said a rocket launcher is a diabolical move.
Right? Like he's like chilling in the club, you know what I mean? He's a laid back, you know what I mean, management, he'll punch you to death. And then this time he's like, what if hey, do we have any rocket launchers? And then I'll just I'll shoot it myself. You know what I mean? Like and then it like spirals like this weird shot and you're like, how was that even going in there? Like when he shoots it and it's all like looping and stuff.
Uh-huh.
It's like, okay, did he know where that was going? You know what I mean?
No, but I do feel like that that specific move that he did, like it really builds on the fact that he is just kind of like a weird dude, you know?
Yeah.
Like something's off.
It was kind of nice because it set him apart from Kingpin and where Kingpin's at now
Uh-huh.
in our stuff. I feel like it did make him more unique and he'll act irrationally a little more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um, episode 4. I'll be honest. The first 5 minutes of the show, I wasn't really paying attention all that much. I was also doing some other work, but
Right.
I was so confused, and then I realized, holy, Carl is Luke.
Right.
I like looked away at the
You
wrong
didn't pick up on that right
and
away?
I'm like watching it, and he's got the facial hair, and I'm like, what is happening? I was like, oh wait, that's Luke Cage.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool episode to be honest. Usually I'm not a fan of full flashback episodes,
Uh-huh.
but I feel like it was actually handled pretty well. And like he gets into that like it's like the officer or something and he gets in like the argument with.
Uh-huh.
I thought that scene was played really well.
Yeah, I mean, I think some of the characters, like the both of the investigators, I thought was weird.
Yeah.
I especially did not like the white guy. The white guy really irritated me. Uh,
Yeah, I don't know. He was a
and then
little
he died, so then I was
off-putting.
all happy. But
Yeah, but I don't know. And then he meets Riva in that episode too, right?
yeah,
Yeah. And then I don't know how long that was because that was all before Jessica Jones and stuff, right? It had
yeah,
to have been.
yeah, because she was dead when Jessica Jones started.
Yeah. So I wonder how long that was. It doesn't really matter. But just where we find him in Jessica Jones.
Yeah, I mean, do you think? Do you like? I would say probably like 5 years from when Riva died to when Jessica Jones started. What did you say?
Yeah, 3 to 5 years, I think. I don't know because There probably is an accurate place, but I just wonder where that would line up. Like if you were watching like full chronologically, what project you would watch this like during.
Uh-huh.
But I thought Seagate Prison was cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
It felt like something that like I kind of wish we would see with like some of the Spider-Man stuff.
Uh-huh.
Like if we do end up getting like ground level Spider-Man in the future, like we never see any of his people like go to prison. You know what I mean? Which I kind of feel like we kind of need going forward. We got like a little bit of that with that. There's that tease of the character at the end of Homecoming, I think. I don't want to leak like who it is, even though we've been like saying spoilers and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like there just needs to be more of that. Like we don't, because the only place we have is where they keep the supers,
The raft.
the raft. But I feel like all these people like they're just in prison in the MCU.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? And a lot of like comic stories are just like people breaking out of prison, even if it's just for the opening scene of a movie. Like just have like a location like this
Uh-huh.
where you can go in there and you can see like all these villains from the past movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I feel like the MCU kind of just needs more of that. Like just a stable place
Absolutely.
in New York, around New York, like this, where these people are going.
Yeah.
Which actually,
Okay.
I don't know. Could this be the same prison? Or is this like completely different place? From the prison that we see at the end of Homecoming.
Ooh.
I'm sure they look completely different because they wouldn't have gone back and watched this.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Let me see.
I'm not entirely sure. Let's talk about like the middle of the show and kind of the end of the show. I mean, we've talked a lot about it, like grand scheme things already. Kind of jumped around a lot. What are your thoughts on the middle and the end of the show?
I thought the middle was actually in a pretty decent spot. I feel like we were getting like a lot of character moments and stuff. That is the thing that I think this show balances pretty well. Usually at least like I think each character kind of got a moment where they had their coolest thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I even tried to keep a list of them just because like I think they were just having cool moments. So I tried to like pin down which one was the coolest for each.
Uh-huh.
And the one that probably was the craziest, or not the craziest, but the one that I really liked was Claire Temple doing like the surgery on Luke.
Uh-huh.
Like just by herself, like just making it work. Like I felt like that was a cool moment where it's like, oh, like this is how she's cool. This is like how she like relates to the story and is important in her own way.
Yeah.
But I feel like there was just like there's a lot of cool moments like that. And how did you feel about Shades? I was gonna ask that.
About who?
Shades? Didn't they call him Shades? Like he was like in the first few episodes?
I didn't mind him.
I thought he was pretty good, just for like a B level
Uh-huh.
dude. Like it's pretty funny, like but like it does make him stand out.
Yeah,
Just
and I
wearing
feel like
shades.
for kind of the crew that he's a part of, you know, like
Yeah.
there probably is going to be somebody like that, you know.
Yeah. I feel like he was just good for that archetype and stuff.
Uh-huh.
But going towards the end of the episode, I really liked this finale, to be honest. I liked like the whole show, everybody being like, who's Luke Cage? And then they're all like chanting his name at the end.
Yeah.
And then he had that really good line. It was like, what was it? Sometimes you have to go backwards to go forwards.
Mm-hmm. Well, because
Like when he's in the car.
didn't Pop set himself up for that? He said
He said, just keep going forward.
Yeah.
He said, like, just keep going, keep going, keep going. You know what I mean? Even though I'm dying, you just gotta keep going forward. You know what I mean? Moving up. So then I thought that line was pretty good because it wasn't him trapping himself in that person's like ideology that they said to him. Sometimes that'll happen. Like Peter Parker's very clearly trapped in the words that he gets from Aunt May and stuff. And from Ben Parker, he takes it very literally. Where in this, he was able to give it his own perspective.
Yeah.
And being like, I understand what he said, but I'm going to have to go backwards a little bit.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? But I won't stop doing what he wanted me to do.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool.
That is cool. What are your thoughts on Diamondback? Stepbrother, half brother?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of just heard that and I was like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't really, it wasn't a huge twist for me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I don't think it had maybe the impact that they wanted that to have for me.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that I would have loved to see a little bit more flashback, like the was it the last episode where they're having a fight and then they're like going back and forth between when um they were in the like boxing ring growing up.
I feel like that would have to be the last episode when they're fighting in the streets, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when everybody's watching and stuff too. So that was cool because, like, obviously when they were boxing, wasn't there people watching them when they were boxing too?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I feel like they were kind of building that, like, oh, there's an audience both times. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that was cool.
Well, and like for something that could have been very cheesy when they were chanting Luke, like they made that work.
I completely agree. And it felt like a lot of it really brought like the city to life,
Uh-huh.
which like obviously like a lot of projects are like striving to do now and figure out how to make that click. I think we just saw Superman try to do that like a lot with the people that live in there.
Uh-huh.
And it can be corny. It can like not fit a lot of times,
Yeah.
but I think the show does a really natural build and people talking about his name a lot and who he's gonna be. So I feel like at the end, people cheering for him it was fun. You know what I mean? And it kind of gave you like, since you're not watching this with an audience, it kind of gave you it gave you the feeling of watching it with other people and like
Uh-huh.
what other people are feeling while watching.
Uh-huh.
And it's another way where it's balancing the budget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how can
Absolutely.
you make a cool fight scene at the end without having somebody flying through the air? You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Somebody doing crazy stuff.
It kind
And
of gave me Incredible Hulk vibes when they're in the.
totally. But like, it's like we were talking about in Ironheart. Like, they just kind of misplaced their budget, I feel. And I feel like the final fight wasn't that good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Where it's just two people in a room. And then you look at something like this, where all they're using is like editing tricks
Uh-huh.
to get an emotional reaction out of you. And it still feels like a payoff for the season for me,
Absolutely.
simply because of how it relates to the character. So I think that was really impressive for me.
Uh-huh. Well, I wanted to do the top eight tonight. I'm gonna attach it, but I think I want to do the top eight. Maybe we can maybe record it separately tomorrow or the day after,
Yeah.
because I am quite hungry. I still haven't eaten dinner yet. So, any last thoughts you have about this show?
I just thought it was cool. Obviously, I don't know who I would recommend it to. I don't know if this is necessary to watch for the MCU. Uh, I don't even know if it'll be necessary to watch Defenders with saying this. You know what I mean?
I actually
Like, I
think it's
feel
gonna be quite
like,
crucial. I think so.
well, I feel like a lot of this stuff is just well balanced,
Uh-huh.
reintroducing characters. You know what I mean? Reintroducing villains from other stuff and like how they relate to that show specifically. So I feel like probably at the end of this, if I ever do want to rewatch something, it'll be just Defenders. And I don't see myself rewatching this within the near future.
Not probably not for
Yeah,
myself either, because this is the rewatch we are doing and preparing for Doomsday. What other purpose would I have to watch this again? I don't know.
right? You've already seen the full thing. Yeah, mainly I think the music was my takeaway. I thought the music was just cool. And it had like a cool relation to the stuff. And it really set the show apart.
One of the last things I'll say, just to kind of justify my score a little bit, I did give one category a zero. I think this is the first time I've gave it a zero.
Let's hear it.
What category do you think I gave a zero?
If I had to guess, let me look at the rubric here. Rewatchability?
Close. It was icon ability.
Really? You don't think the last fight was iconic?
No.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with you on this one. Again, I think a lot of these shows, like I feel like the movies are more certain. They're short length. You know what I mean? I think they're more disputable. I would never tell someone to watch one of the Netflix shows. You know what I mean?
I
Like
think
I feel
Daredevil.
like I would have to know the person and then be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
you would like Daredevil."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't think these are as casually recommended as like, "Oh yeah, Captain America's good." You know what I mean? Thor's good. Iron
It's
Man's
not
good.
for a wide range of an audience as some of the movies are.
Exactly. That's kind of what I'm getting at in most of these projects.
Hmm. Well, I think this conversation has been much better than our Daredevil season 2 conversation.
Yeah,
I was a little worried going into this. I thought we were going to have nothing to talk about, but I think, you know, maybe my score's a little harsh. Maybe maybe after this I would tweak some of it.
yeah,
Still didn't love it, but I'm glad I did. I'm glad I did.
yeah. I just didn't find myself feeling stuck in this show a lot. Like some of these Netflix shows get to a point and you're like, okay, I guess I have to watch this episode to get to the next one. You know what I mean? They're gonna push out a little more. I feel like this show kind of felt a little more complete in retaining to its own story.
Uh huh.
Yeah, I think it had better flow.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna make my decision right now whether I'm gonna make this part of this episode or just make it a separate episode. I'll add it on to this episode.
I
Add
think
something else.
so.
I'll add it on. So I will see you guys in a few moments. And we're back. I didn't lie. I said we were gonna come back. Actually, close to 24 hours later, we're back talking. But to you, it's been 5 seconds, so you didn't miss anything. We just got done talking about Luke Cage. Now, me and Brody wanted to spend some time, kind of just talking about the MCU, but we wanted to be a little bit more specific of what we were talking about. Now, we created a not a top 5 list, not a top 10, a top 8. Don't ask me why I got to that number. I just thought it fit. And I think it works out because, to be honest, like after 8, like I could kind of care less. But right now, we are going to be talking about our top 8 favorite scores, not soundtracks. So Guardians of the Galaxy, Iron Man, it might be affected a little bit. We're going to be talking about scores.
Mm-hmm.
So how we're going to do this is we're going to go from bottom to top, or I guess top to bottom, however you want to say it, from 8 to 1. We're going to go one after the other, 8, 8, 7, 7, so on. Brody, would you do me the honor of starting us out?
Okay, so I went through and I listened to the music again when you asked me to do this. So at number 8, I have the Hulk, the Incredible Hulk,
Hmm.
because the theme to it is actually pretty decent from when I listened to it. It's got
It
pretty unique sound to it.
100%. To me, the Incredible Hulk, that is like the soundtrack or the score is like the bright spot for me of that movie. I love
Yeah,
the Hulk's actual
completely.
theme. I think anytime I hear that, I'm like, oh, this is good. This is really good because it
Yeah,
kind of gives you like it's it gives you the vibe that it's not a true superhero movie, right? He's
yeah.
not really. I wouldn't describe him as an anti-hero though either. Would you?
Not quite, but he almost seems like kind of those Defenders level
Yeah,
villain, or not
very
villains, but characters we've
very
been
much
getting.
a dark tone. So I
Yeah.
do credit you for that. Incredible Hulk was an honorable mention for me. But my number 8, the first Avenger. Oh,
Dude, we had the same problem when we watched the movie.
I know. I know.
This soundtrack is so magical to me, and I don't get why other people don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's good, but I think there's a lot of other good scores out there. And it's not
Okay.
just the
All right.
theme, remember, it's the overall soundtrack of the movie.
Okay.
Number 7, I'll kick us off. We'll kind of snake this. Number 7. You know, this movie wasn't allowed to use the soundtrack it used in the previous 2 movies, so it had to kind of up the ante with its score. Iron Man 3.
Okay. Okay. All right. I can see that.
I really like what they did with the Iron Man theme itself, and I thought it really upped the stakes in, the the peak of the score as well as like the low kind of expressing Iron Man's anxiety. I think I did a really good job of pushing those tones throughout the score.
Yeah, especially the opening.
Uh-huh.
The opening really sets the tone for the movie.
And the ending when he has the Iron Legion come. I think that's a real bright spot
True.
for me.
That is true. For my number seven, I got Guardians Volume 1.
Mm,
Because I had
that's not good.
Guardians.
That's not good, man. That's not good.
Why?
I have it much higher on my list.
I have another Guardians higher. So I had to put this somewhere in respect to it.
Wow, we are quite drastically different so far.
Oh, you just wait till you see the top three.
All right. What's your number six?
My number six, we got Thor.
We got one right.
Okay, all right,
We got one right.
all right.
I think
I
that this
love
is a very
Asgard
underrated.
music.
I think this is a very underrated score. Like nobody talks about this, but this is such a good
Yeah,
theme, especially when like I just think about when they're riding the horses on the Bifrost.
right.
Or no, Rainbow Bridge. No. No. Is it Rainbow Bridge?
Should be.
Yes, Rainbow Bridge. When they're riding, I think about like
Yeah. Well, because what that movie has is a lot of those like sweeping shots or crane shots. You know what I mean, going into the town, going. You mean, or like the music in the beginning. I feel like maybe I could have even put Thor higher.
yeah.
Just now when I
It's
think
good,
about the
but
moments.
I just love the movies that are in front of it for me. So
Yeah.
we got number six. I don't got to say mine. Thor. Number five. The only TV show that made the list for me. Daredevil.
There you
If you
go.
want me to get specific, I'll say season one.
Okay. All right. No, I can
I
see that.
wasn't. I think season one was a little bit better in my opinion in the score. Season two was
Hmm.
okay, but I think season one and talk about an opening credits that I can never skip is Daredevil. I just love hearing that music
Yeah,
because I
I
mean, we
believe
just
it.
talked about Luke Cage. Talk about something I'm trying to hit the skip button as fast as possible. Daredevil skip.
Yeah, I could see that.
What about your number five?
My number five, I got the Winter Soldier. Mainly just Bucky's theme.
No, no.
What?
I'm excited to hear your top three, and I'm excited for you to listen to my top three.
But honestly, that's another one where I think I probably could have given it more just out of respect for using the last movie's theme.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
But like I feel like I should get like 2,000 extra points for doing that in the MCU.
Absolutely. Absolutely. My Wait, you just said five or four?
Five.
Okay. I told you my number five. My number four made it right outside the podium. Doesn't get a bronze medal, but right outside. Age of Ultron.
Okay. Yeah, I mean Danny
I
Elfman,
think the,
you got
I
all the
think the
stuff there.
title card is really good. I think some of the music that plays when the twins pop up is really good. The
Uh-huh.
one that gives me the chills the most. Clint is talking to Wanda, you know,
Uh-huh.
trying to give him a motivational speech, and that music's like slowly raising up, and then he gets out there and just, you know,
Right. And then
fantastic.
she walks out, starts tearing apart the robots and stuff.
Hmm.
But that's good. I mean,
All
I
right.
can't argue with any of the points.
Okay. Number
So it's
three.
that
What is it?
was
Oh, you.
or
No,
I
you
guess
got
it's
number
my
four.
number
Sorry.
four.
All right.
I put Avengers.
Mm,
I feel like I had to. I felt
yeah.
like I got cornered with this one because I mean it's the theme that everybody knows. I had to put
I
it
feel
somewhere
like
on here.
regardless of how you feel about any of the scores, the Avengers has to make it on the list somewhere. You can't leave it out.
Yeah. So that's kind of how I felt with this one. I was like, it's the memorable theme. I gotta put it up somewhere. I get hype when I hear it in Marvel Land.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just by situations there.
All right. For number three, we're gonna say both of ours at the same time. Okay.
Okay.
One, two, three. Guardians one.
Guardians Volume 2.
Oh, so close. So close. I think the theme of the first Guardians like really stands out for me. And
Mm-hmm.
tell me if I'm wrong, but it's kind of like a riff of the Avengers theme, right?
I could see that. I
I
mean,
think
it's
it
the
is.
same
I think
kind of
it's like
triumphant
reworked in
theme.
some way.
Oh, true. I think we talked about that on the episode or something. I
Yeah.
think it is the same score, like rearranged with the notes.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I had to put Guardians 2. I'm a huge, huge, huge Guardians 2 fan.
Hmm.
And they also did something really cool, which the soundtrack was mostly made before the movie. So they were
Really?
playing a lot of the soundtrack and the score during the scenes and they were filming it. So I feel like some scenes get a little more kick to them because the actors actually, like the scene with Yondu and stuff,
Hmm.
they're like both facing this way. They have headphones in on the other side and they're listening to the score
Oh.
for it, which
Well,
is cool.
and you know what? We're not talking about soundtracks, but that makes the scene where the chain is playing a lot better, in my opinion. It makes a lot
Yeah.
more sense because it seems
Well,
like it really
even
does like, hit on the music notes.
Well, I knew that James Gunn plays that music when he does scenes like that. You know what I mean? Just to
Mhm.
get people in the mood for the scene. Um, but I didn't see him ever do it with the score like that. So it was really, really fascinating. The only other project I can think that did that was with The Mandalorian. There's like a
Oh,
clip
really?
of the Mandalorian theme getting sent to Jon Favreau while he's on set filming an episode.
Hmm.
That's the only project I can think of where the score was sent that early and played on set. Yeah,
That's pretty
and then
cool.
I just love the Guardians theme in the opening. Like we talked about
Mhm.
in the episode, it's not there the whole movie because they're not a full team at the full movie. But the music when Ego and him are throwing the glowing ball back and forth, it's
Mhm.
like this nice sweeping melody. It's super, super cool.
Yeah. All right. Let's hear number two for you.
Thor: The Dark World.
Really?
This has a pretty well-rounded soundtrack to me because I love the Frigga's funeral stuff.
Uh-huh.
I love, love, love the main theme.
Yeah.
Like
It is
this
good.
one brings it in the beginning of the movie and throughout the whole thing. But I think there's just an emotional track that I like. The main theme I really, really like. And I think it really just pairs well with the movie. And it's what I want out of the
Hmm.
Thor score.
Absolutely. No, it's a good soundtrack. I think it's another honorable mention for me, but everything else that's above it, in my opinion, is just a little bit better, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I feel like too, how we feel about these scores is also a little bit reflected in how we feel about the movie as a whole, you know?
Completely.
Which, I think for your number eight, you said The Incredible Hulk. I think, you know, builds on the point that that score is so good and the movie is so bad.
Yeah. No, I think if I hadn't re-listened to it, I don't know if I would put it on there.
Mm.
I think just by forgetting about most of the movie, I would have forgotten about the score being so good.
Well, and especially too, like they never. I don't think that theme is ever replayed.
Nope.
The Incredible Hulk, like ever
I don't
replayed
think in
in.
any way.
So it would be cool if they brought it back, but I just don't see it ever happening.
Nope.
My number two, the classic, The Avengers. It's too good,
Okay. All right.
too good, in my opinion.
Can I
Talked
with
about
that?
it. Alan Silvestri, he's the composer.
Yep.
He talk about writing such a memorable theme for a lot of times we want to talk about the MCU not having memorable themes. Does not get more memorable than the Avengers theme.
He's great, dude. He did like the Forrest Gump theme and all that too.
Yeah, yeah. All
He's
right,
a cool dude.
what's at the top of the leaderboard for you thus far? Thus far, not saying total. Thus far.
I feel like you can guess it. Well, what movie do I always just put number one?
Trying to think about what you've said so far. Um, I'm gonna go. Hold on. Oh, the first Avenger.
That's the first Avenger, man. I love the music for that whole movie. this like, the complete style with the type of movie that it is. I love the music when he's crashing the plane, when he comes back from saving Bucky and all them.
Uh-huh.
The main theme, the montage theme as he's going across doing all the fighting. The Hydra music is really cool. I just love that soundtrack every time it plays.
It is good. It is good. My number one, The Winter Soldier. For being such a dark movie, the theme is so memorable for The Winter Soldier. Like you said, the playing of the first Avengers theme in that movie as well.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a classic to me. Just a classic.
I mean, I'll take a win for Captain America there.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was fun. This was fun to talk about a little bit. I just wanted some kind of talking point about where we are in the MCU without directly just talking about maybe repeating some stuff we've said.
Right.
And the score being such a crucial part for me in rewatching this or everything, like that had to make the rubric for me. So
Yeah.
And what better person to talk to than you? I don't think there's a better person that appreciates scores and themes more than you.
I don't know. Andreas might see you out there.
Maybe.
Andreas is a music man.
I'm thinking maybe the end of part 5 we'll probably redo this list. I'd be interested to see. I'm gonna save this list, kind of see how it reworks itself.
Yeah. That'd be fascinating to see.
It would be. All right. So we've just finished talking about Luke Cage. Talked about where we are in the MCU score wise. What's next? We've got Ant-Man.
Yeah. We got Ant-Man.
We got
I
Ant-Man.
haven't seen that movie in a long time. And I've only seen little bits and parts of it from what I remember.
Not only am I excited to watch Ant-Man, I'm also excited to have a very much deserved light week. The TV
That
shows
is
are
true.
coming.
A small movie about a small man. That's what we got.
That's going to be the title for that episode.
Right. But
well,
I don't know. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it in a long time. I think mainly like the flashback scenes is kind of what I'm looking forward to. Just because, now we've seen some one-shots. We know a little more about some of the characters than I think I knew before. So I'm really, really fascinated to see how those play out compared to how I remember.
And I can't remember if I talked about this on the podcast yesterday, but this is actually the first solo origin story we've had movie-wise since Iron Man 3, I believe, because I don't really consider Winter Soldier an origin story or a solo movie because there's so many team-up aspects to it. So, I mean, it's been a minute since we've watched like a singular story like this in movie form.
Yeah, especially like a from the start origin story where there's no exterior backstory and stuff.
Yeah. All right. Well, Brody, thanks for getting back on. Thank you for listening this far if you've made it. Did a little time jump with us. But I think that is going to do it for this episode of the Sacred Rewatch. We hope you enjoyed diving back into the timeline with us. New recap episodes are coming out every week leading up to Avengers Doomsday. Wherever you are in the multiverse, thanks for making the Sacred Rewatch part of your journey. See you guys.